Hello, darlings. Today on Binky's Gaming Thoughts, lore and theories regarding the Forgotten Ones. Ooh, I forget. In case you're wondering what's with the dead branch over here, it's to represent the state of Thedas once Fenrirel is done with it. Alright, so it is said that the Forgotten Ones are the parallels of the Evanuris, but they were the evil doers, the malevolent gods, while the Evanuris are said to be the benevolent gods. Oh, by the way, today's Valasleen is Sileys, gods, mages powerful enough that they earned that title and potentially cannot be easily defeated, just like the Evanuris. During the Great Betrayal, Fenrirel tricked both the Evanuris and the Forgotten Ones. He says the Evanuris killed Mythal. We assume that he means the Evanuris, but he himself says the false gods.
The false gods called me Fenrirel, and when they finally went too far, I formed the veil and banished them forever.
The Forgotten Ones were said locked away in the abyss, and only through dreams do they ever remind elves of their existence. But were they then the Whisperers? Or not linked at all? Andruil went mad looking for the Forgotten Ones in the abyss. Was that the taint? Was that the start of the taint? Did the Forgotten Ones create the blight? Flemeth tells Hawk to take the leap into the abyss. And then, in Here Lies the Abyss, we enter the Fade in the flesh. Back then, the Fade was integral with the world, coexisting together. But perhaps, even then, to enter it in the flesh was not possible. And maybe the Forgotten Ones came from a dimension in the Fade where that was possible, where they existed in the Fade in the flesh, or where they could enter and walk in the Fade in the flesh. That's a lot of in the flesh. Since the creation of the veil, it remains a dimension into which none have gone except on 3 occurrences. The Magisters, the Inquisitor with the Divine, the first time the Inquisitor went into the Fade, and the second time the Inquisitor went into the Fade with companions. The Forgotten Ones are said to represent the worst aspect of existence: disease, terror, spite, malevolence. They perhaps represent the shadow self of the elven gods as a whole, the side which many wish to forget, as opposed to integrate. But we know from the Jungian analysis of Soulless that integrating the shadow self is what makes a person complete. And failing to do so could turn someone to the dark side. So here's the question. How can the Evanuris be so malevolent if they killed Mythal? It makes no sense. Were they then influenced by the Forgotten Ones? Tainted by the blight already? Or did they simply not like the mirror image representations of themselves in the Forgotten Ones, and then they went mad with power, trying to control everything and everyone? The way Fenrirel tricked both groups of gods is that he claimed he had a plan for a truce between the 2 factions. And he told the Forgotten Ones that the creators, the Evanuris, would be defeated and the elves would then be freed. This is a detail that convinced the Forgotten Ones to trust him. This is but one version of the story. Another version says that Fenrirel claimed he knew the location of a weapon that would end the war. A weapon? Maybe this weapon actually does exist and we have yet to discover what this weapon is. red lyrium? I hope it's not red lyrium. So he told this information about the hidden location of this weapon to both factions. I suspect there is truth. You thought I was going to say, I suspect you have questions. I suspect I have questions. I suspect there is truth in both versions. Speaking of Dragon Age, if you like stories with dragons, consider buying my book. Available in print and ebook format. The Forgotten Ones come from the Void, also known as the Abyss. Perhaps that other dimension in the Fade. The Forgotten Ones resented the Evanuris, claiming they were not gods. As the Dragon Age wiki puts it, the right of dominance over others comes from deeds rather than nature. So obviously the Forgotten Ones were not very happy that the Evanuris were like, we're in charge. And they're like, no, you're not. So why not no dominance at all? Fen'Harel believed in no dominance. There were priests of the Forgotten Ones who were persecuted during the time of the Dales. The Exalted March, led by the Orlesian Empire, conquered the elven forces. This occurred after the Second Blight because elves did not help humans during this Second Blight, this taking place during the time of Emperor Draken, and we now know that this happened because Inquisitor Emeridin never returned. So basically, Hakon's to blame. Ugh. Gods. Always gods. It's always gods. There are those who still secretly worship the Forgotten Ones, though. Hidden cults who seek revenge on the humans. According to the Dalish people, those who worship the Forgotten Ones have committed a great crime and have forsaken their people for the keys to a twisted strength. The hidden weapon? The tribes with red Valaslines on their faces. Blight-tainted strength? Apparently, they offer the enemies they kill as their blood sacrifice. More blood magic, more blood sacrifice. Ugh. We know the Dalish have their history all wrong, but we also know truth lies behind the twisted versions of the stories. There are only a few known Forgotten Ones. Fen'Harel, who was both Forgotten One and Evanuris. Darnthal, whom we know nothing about. Anaris, who was once tricked by Fen'Harel while dueling Andruil. Referred to as male, Anaris appears in a secret greeting of Fen'Harel's, whose meaning is unknown. But in my next video, I decode this meaning. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Also in Belanaris Dinanhim, which means make you dead, while Belanaris alone means eternity. So I'm guessing Anaris himself has something to do with the abyss, the void, the fade, something eternally dead, eternally existing in the land of the dead, or something like that. Geldaron was another Forgotten One, whose message can be found in the Frostback Basin. This is the message. There are no gods. There is only the subject and the object, the actor and the acted upon. All the world's a stage. Those with will to earn dominance over others gain title not by nature, but by deed. I am Geldaron, and I refuse those who would exert will upon me. Let Andruil's bow crack. Let June's fire grow cold. Let them build temples and lure the faithful with promises. Their pride will consume them. Fen'Harel will consume them. And I, Forgotten, will claim power of my own apart from them until I strike in mastery. Ooh. Aside from the all the world's a stage bit, it sounds like this Forgotten One refused to be enslaved by the Evanuris, a rebel, an anarchist, so to speak. So how did they become the evil ones They merely chose not to obey, refusing a master. But it also sounds like they did become twisted, perhaps even tainted, lying in wait to strike with mastery. Could that be proof the Forgotten Ones are the old gods? Or is it just musings while Fen'Harel devised his plan? Interesting how their pride did consume them, because pride, Solus, he consumed them, so to speak, by locking them up, by tricking them. He, Solus, was their demise. All of their demise, for both the Evanuris and the Forgotten Ones. Let me know your thoughts about the Forgotten Ones in the comments below. Like this video if you like it, subscribe to be Rosie approved, and I'll see you all soon. Masaranas. If you're new here and you like my content, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications. Alternately, you can follow my website, binkyproductions.com, where I post everything from all my channels. Be sure to check out some of my other stuff. You can also join in on the fun on Patreon for some random, sporadic, occasional, exclusive content. Otherwise, just liking and sharing, like it if you like it, for the like it if you like it dance, supports this channel and helps people find it. And your continued viewership is very much appreciated. Masaranas.